So I noticed that the number of participants in this business analysis are reducing. Is it that business analysis is too tough, is too technical, or what? A lot of people, if you really want to come into tech, there is nothing to fear about. All you need to do is confront it. Some people just want to run into project management but in business analysis, there is no coding, because I know these are things that scare us away, more especially beginners. So, welcome again for tonight's session. Like I said, we are going to be looking at requirement analysis. We have to understand what requirement analysis, some types of requirement analysis techniques, and look at some practical examples. And let's get started. So I hope by now, all of us should know how to use this draw.io. Is there anyone who have not done this process map? Is there anyone here have not done the process map? I hope everybody have done this process map. Okay. Okay. What is requirement analysis? Requirement analysis. So, Talabi, are they doing Talabi? Why are you raising your hand?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was an error. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Requirement analysis is a critical phase in project management and system development that involves understanding, documenting, and validating the need and expectation of the stakeholders. It helps in identifying the necessary features, functionalities, and constraints of a project or a system. Proper requirement analysis ensures that the project is aligned with the business goals and meet the stakeholders' need. So now we've been doing requirement capturing, gathering, and documentation and modeling. So we need to look at the two key techniques for carrying out requirement analysis. And these two techniques we are going to look at is gap analysis and root cause analysis. These are the most common analysis business analysts use to analyze their requirements, such as process flows, we've tried to understand the process. Looking at this model, this is a process. We've modeled the process, and then we need to understand this process further to see where the gaps lies within this process for improvement. This process is how to manage finance activities or the operations within finance department without a proper enterprise resource application or enterprise resource planning. So we've looked at how it is without a system, so we can fish out the gaps to justify the reason why this company should have. This is what we've done. So we want to know, this is Miaras. We want to justify the reason why Miaras.com should get an ERP system to manage their finance department activities. This is how it looks like without any application, proper application or enterprise application. And we want to see the gaps within this system and make recommendation for the stakeholders so that they can get an application which is going to be a solution to their problems within the finance department. So, but before we continue with this, let's understand what gap analysis is, so that after the understanding of gap analysis, we can then perform gap analysis on the current process and then make decisions. This will help us to make informed decision, because at this point, everything we are doing is to help us make a recommendation. We want to recommend the solution for our client or for our company. And that solution will come down to what we call business case. So we're coming, all these things we are doing, building, is like a building step, a building block towards a business case to justify why we should implement a solution, this type of solution or the other solution for the organization. You cannot just say implement ERP. Why are they implementing ERP? You must have facts and figures, documents, just like we are documenting right from requirement gathering, requirement documentation, requirement modeling, and then we are performing a gap analysis within this process to identify all the gaps within the current process. This will help us to make informed decisions, telling the organization, look, see, this is what is the gap within the current process. Okay, if you want to use this system, see how this system is going to fill up this gap within the current process. And because of that, I recommend you implement this solution or the other solution. That's it. But you cannot just say that. You need to show evidence. You need to show documentation, and that is what we are building up. Okay, to perform a gap analysis. Gap analysis is a technique used to compare the current process of a system, the current state of a system, process, or situation with the desired future state. It helps in identifying the gap between where you are and where you want to be, providing a roadmap for closing the gap. That is gap analysis. So let's look at step by step in creating a gap analysis The first thing is to identify the current state, gather data, and understand the existing system, process, or situation. Example, retail business, the current state might involve use of manual inventory tracking. So, in our own case, we've done requirement gathering. We've done requirement documentation and modeling. So we've covered this very well. Then define the desired future state. Establish a clear goal or target state you want to achieve. Example, the desired states could be automated inventory management system, integrated with real-time sales data. So this is what we are trying to achieve. We are building at understanding the future state. Thirdly, analyze the gap. Compare the current states with the desired future states to identify the gaps. Example, the gap may include lack of inventory management software, or outdated software, or need for staffing. So we'll do a comparative analysis between the two states. 4, prioritize the gaps. Not all gaps are equal in terms of impact and urgency. Prioritize them based on business need, feasibility, and cost. Example, you might prioritize acquiring inventory management software over upgrading a hardware. And 5th, develop an action plan. Create a plan to close the identified gaps. This should include specific action, timeline, and resources. Example, implement software, train staff, and integrate the new system into the existing within the next 6 months. So that is what we called gap analysis, using gap analysis to solve a business need or a business problem. So we have built to the extent that we've modeled the current process. And then the next step is this current process we've modeled. You look at this, this is the current. So what we need to do is trying to, look at the current process we've modeled and see where it can be a system within the system, where the system can be automated. All the areas that can be automated or that can be improved upon, we're going to highlight it with red color. This is to show that there is actually gaps within the current process, and this will drive us into looking for a new system. So you see, you're looking at this model, you see there is areas that is highlighted in red color. These are various gaps which I have identified within the current process, and that is what we plan to do. So while trying to analyze the current process after you model it to fish out the gaps, you need to do it with your stakeholders or the people within the process. So you cannot just come up and say, this is gap, this is gap, this is gap. So it's going to be a brainstorming session where a team will actually look at a process and say, actually, this is gap, and it can be improved upon through this new system. So that is it. What we are going to do is, we don't have so much time. These are other other situations, I talk about this one when we are starting, like these are problem without ERP systems, or that they'll have so many other problems without ERP system where we can use gap analysis. We've discussed this at the beginning of this session, so I will not waste time trying to explain this again. It has to be here in the lecture notes. You can look at it again, but we've discussed it. I remember we've talked about this, some of this gap I captured here. So the main important thing is to go back to where we stopped last week. This is where we stopped last week. This is it. This is the work we did last week. We did the modeling, but we need to perform a gap analysis within this. The first thing to do is to start analyzing all the processes one by one and see where we can actually improve upon. And it becomes so obvious that there is gap within the current process. As we are looking at it now, it might be difficult to say if we have a gap. Or I want a situation when anybody look at our process map, at a glance, you see different gaps within the current process, because we want to highlight all the non-value added processes in red color. Then the value added processes will remain in green color. So just like what we did here, you see all of them are in green color at the moment, meaning that all of them is value added. All of them contribute to, but we agree that this system has become weak. There is gaps within this system. This system needs improvement. Before we want to improve this system, we have to fish out the gaps within this system called current process, or as is, like we see here as is. As is means as it is at the moment. We use these terminologies as is and to be. To be means the future process. So that is what we plan to do. And I will go back to this. This is the one where I captured last time. This is not our work. This is our work here. So this is where we stopped last week. And now what we need to do, I have to go back to my work in draw.io and continue where we stopped. So this is where we stopped last week. And let's look at this and see how we can identify various areas for improvement within this system. I hope we are following what I'm doing. If you are not following what I'm doing, just let me know. Are we all good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I'll crack on. Okay, let's look at this trying to make it bigger. Okay. What we are trying to look at, we are going to fish out areas. This is all these processes, they are manual process. The future process is automated process. Although we have not captured the future process we want, but we want a future process which is ERP is an automated system. So, but everything here is manual. So let's see, all the current process, we cannot throw away every current process, because even if we migrate to ERP, there is still some areas that will not be automated. So now, looking at this, the first thing is sales order creation. The salesperson creates a sales order document manually. You know, as a business analyst, I'm not going to be asking you people, because at the moment you are still in the making. As a business analyst, you might not really have the domain knowledge. But me, as an experienced business analyst who knows an ERP system very well, how it works, and I'm working for my clients, and I've captured my process. Okay, in this process, the salesperson creates sales order document manually. I know that in ERP system, even if I'm having a meeting with the stakeholders, I will convince them that ERP system, you can automate sales order document. It can be created from ERP, and this is going to reduce a lot of error by creating it manually. So for me, I would say that this is a non-added value. It doesn't add value, so it can be improved upon. That is number one. For me, this is a gap. So what do I do? This is a gap, because this can be improved upon. So let me look for a more, I feel if another red color might be look so harsh. Let me use this one. This one is mild. So this is a gap. Paper copies are generated. When you create when you create sales order in ERP system, you do not generate paper copy. You generate a soft copy that can be shared within the systems. So we are trying to get away from these paper copies, and this can be improved upon using ERP. So we can say this is a gap as well. And then invoice generation. Create an invoice document. This is manual process as well, and it can be, the ERP system will populate an invoice once this is created, and this is area that can be improved upon again. Information is manually copied from sales order. This can be improved again using ERP system. It's going to increase the efficiency, and it's going to reduce the manual labor, and reduce the amount of time it takes to do this. So by automating this, these things I've done, improve the data quality, reduce the amount of time it takes, and improve efficiency. So there's a lot of things that can be benefited by moving this process here to ERP system. Okay, papers. Paper copies are generated for physical delivery. Okay, this one is still, even in ERP system, you still need a paper copy in order for delivery purpose. All of us, if you are getting delivery from Amazon, you see that when you receive a delivery from Amazon, there is an invoice attached. So if you are using ERP system, or if whichever system, you must still generate paper copies. So this is still valuable. It doesn't need automation. Okay. Payment collection. The salesperson collect payment from customer. Okay. Whether ERP or no ERP, this payment can still, this one is still valuable. Payment might be received in person, deposited directly into bank accounts. This is still very much valuable. And then salesperson might need to chase overdue. So this is still okay. Payment recording. The accountant manually record customer payments in sales ledger. This can be automated. This is something we don't want to even hear, that they are doing the recording manual payment in ledger. During the manual process of recording financial transaction, it can cause error. It can equally encourage fraudulent activities. So I will want to move away from this kind of processes. The invoice recording checks, checks received, deposits made, and outstanding invoices. So this can be done by the system. The system will do kind of a scan. All this manual handling will stop. Bank reconciliation. We want to move away from manual bank reconciliation. The ERP system, if the ERP system is integrated with our banking apps, all the ERP system needs to do is automatically download the statements, or download our bank statements and automatically compare what is in the bank and what is recorded in the CRM, in the ERP system. So we don't want this manual, regular download and receive bank statement. This takes time and is an outdated process. Then manually compare bank statement and entry. This takes time as well. and it can be done automatically with ERP systems. Then investigate any discrepancies. The system will match the two systems and fish out the discrepancies within the invoice and what is in the bank account. So this can be done via ERP system without manual entry or manual involvement. So these are gaps we are capturing within the current process. And then purchase order creation. Okay, this purchase order creation done manually. You can create this purchase order via ERP system. Paper copies are generated manually, but it can be done automatically. And then this can equally be done automatically, sending it to the vendor. And then vendor invoice processing. Upon receiving goods or services, the company receives an invoice from the vendor, and please, can you put yourself on mute? Okay. Upon receiving goods or services, the company receives an invoice from the vendor. Okay, this still, they can send this via email, or while they are responding, we can receive this directly into our ERP system. So it's possible to be automated. So this can be automated as well. The accountant manually enters the invoice into ledger. This can be automated as well. And then verify pricing and details against the purchase order. Well, verification of pricing, this can be done manually. And payment processing, the accountant manually initiate payments. Yeah, this is initiation of payments. It can still be done manually. That is initiating. Yeah, this way can be done manually. And reporting. Manually generate report by accountants accumulating data from various sources. We don't need to start generating data from various sources. The ERP system will just capture all the, and as the payment is getting processed, you already seen the reporting on your dashboard, seeing it. So you don't need any manual generation of report. The report is automatically generated by the system. And this is something we can done using automated system. So that is a gap analysis I've performed on this. I've tried to look at gaps, areas that can be automated using ERP systems, and that is these areas I've captured in red color. These are a standard process. None of these processes need to be removed. We are not removing any of this process. But if it's taking like this manual reports, it can take like 1 week for an accountant to do this manual report. But ERP system will do this in five minutes. You are done with this report. All you just need is click, and it will take time, just a few seconds to generate the report you want. If you want to download, you can generate it and you download it in PDF document, where whatever way you want to do it. So it's not, but if you want to do this, it will take even more than 1 week to write this report. And after writing this report, this report is prone to errors. There might be a lot of errors after that. But using this ERP system is going to reduce the amount of time. It's going to reduce the labor. It takes like 2 people to write this report, you don't even need just one person, just press a button, the report is ready, and it's going to be error-free. So this is what we can achieve with ERP system over a manual system. So let's have an overview of this, how this is looking like now. And okay. So now I've performed the gap analysis. This is a very simple gap analysis. This is how I perform my gap analysis. I've performed the gap within the current process. And this will help. By the time we improve on all these areas that can be automated, automate this, automate this, automate this, automate this. That is the improved process. All we need to do is, in our improved process, all these areas we capture manually, we turn them into automated processes. They are no longer manual processes. And that is going to be our future process to be. And it's very easy. And when we present this report to the stakeholder or this document to the stakeholders, when we are trying to convince them to buy them into implementing this new system, it's very obvious what we are driving at. There is no, they are seeing it. If they are disputing it, any area they want to dispute, they've seen the areas. So if they want to dispute this number, the last number, manual generation of reports, they can just pick up on it and ask you questions. Why do you think this should be automated instead of leaving it manually? And you talk about it. So this so see, this is how I've done my analysis here. I've analyzed this system. It's not so simple as you see me doing it. I'm just doing this because if I need to do this in real time or in a real Anureka, what is the problem? What's going on? So let me export this into our document. So export as PNG. Export. And yeah, download. Okay, let me go back and update this. Okay, at this point, I'm going to delete this particular one because we already have a replacement. And let's come down here. This is the, just finished doing this. So let's bring our own. So this is what we've just done now. So this is a gap, perform the gap analysis. So what we're trying is to identify the areas that need improvement. And those areas that need improvement is the gap in the system, and we've smartly captured all the areas that need improvement. With this, we are good for the next level. So this is what we need to be improved. And from then you can generate to be processed. And that's it. You proceed to the next level of solution evaluation. Now we've identified the gap. The next thing is to, what is the solution for this? Here we've agreed that is ERP. We have countless number of ERPs. So we have to evaluate solution that we need to capture, or we need in order to optimize our finance department. So that is it. But before we go to solution evaluation, we need to treat root cause analysis. Although this particular project does not require root cause analysis. So, but because it doesn't require root cause analysis, I don't want us to skip it, because you might need a project that will require root cause analysis. So we have to still do root cause analysis before we proceed to But we are not doing root cause analysis now because of time. We are going to do root cause analysis by tomorrow. So, let's see. Okay. Let's see this is okay. The difference between gap analysis and root cause analysis. Gap analysis focuses on identifying differences between the current and the desired state to guide on improvement efforts. And that is why we're using it on this our system. You see, we have a current state and a desired state. A current state is finance department without ERP system. Who said that you cannot manage your finance department without ERP? You can manage it. So many, if you come to, for instance, in Nigeria now, so many companies, so many schools, so many churches, they are managing the operation effectively without ERP system. But in the world of competitive business, you know that it's not, you cannot compete effectively. So the best way is ERP. So this is two states we are trying to look at: current state and desired state. So this is where the gap analysis comes in. The root cause analysis focuses on identifying the root cause of a problem to develop a lasting solution. Root cause. So both techniques are essential in analysis, requirement analysis, but they are applied differently. The gap analysis aiming to achieve new goal. Root cause analysis is for recurring problems. If they have recurring problems, you want to understand the root cause of a problem and stop it. Make sure that it does not come. So this is the two processes. It is left for you to be, as a business analyst, to decide which analysis you want to use. So that's why we have different types of analysis. You can use one for this. At times you might see a situation where you can combine two analyses to solve a problem. But in this our own case, gap analysis is enough. Let's just use gap analysis is enough for us to, we can equally apply root cause analysis in this, but gap analysis is the best process for this. So that's why we're applying gap analysis. So I just want to clear the air why I want you to understand root cause analysis. So after then, the next thing is then we proceed to solution evaluation. So I hope if you have captured this first diagram, then go back to your diagram, just like I've gone back to my own diagram to update my diagram, and then this is an updated diagram. So you should be able to, these are things you should do. As I'm doing it, you should be doing it. I'm going to create a WhatsApp group by tomorrow so that all of us will go there and submit it, and I'll be looking at it and then making my review. It's very important. Even if you don't want to do it for me, these are some of the documents you should be priding yourself as some of the key deliverables you've done as a business analyst. These are some of the things you should be able to be capturing as portfolios for those that are working in Upwork. These are some of these documents you are working, you can be capturing it. And even before we proceed to the main project for this, you can do this already, capture them, add them to your portfolios, and it makes sense. So if you have any question on this requirement analysis, I'm ready to capture questions. Godwin, 1204. Golson, 1204.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
Well done. So my question is in this way: is it possible to have a situation whereby both root cause analysis and gap analysis can be applied?
I just said that quite long ago. Said there is a situation left for you to decide as a business analyst if you can apply the both. But if you can use gap analysis, there is no need of applying all the analysis. The main thing is for you to make a justification. But it can be applied. You can combine different techniques. Gap analysis, root cause analysis, they are all techniques. You can apply different techniques depending on if the situation is so complex that you can't use one technique, and you can combine two techniques. You can apply two techniques. Just like in project management, you can combine agile project management and waterfall project management to deliver a project. You know, so it can be combined. You know, but I'm not like now in my projects this ERP, when we'll be delivering, we are going to use gap analysis because we just need a gap analysis. The root cause analysis is when to go down to the root cause of a problem.
Okay.
So by the time we do root cause analysis, you understand there's no need of we're trying to discuss root cause analysis now, because we've said we are going to treat root cause analysis tomorrow. There's no way we can be treating, we can start answering questions on root cause analysis. We've not treated it. Some people might not understand what we're talking about.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Charles,
You're
for
welcome.
the clarity.
Okay, thank you. Deborah John.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Good evening.
So please, I have two questions. The first one is, can two business analysis look at a particular project or whatever needs to be upgraded and have two different gap analysis? And the second one is, looking at the flow chart, I want to know why diagram flow chart 7.3 would be automated, and then flowchart 5.3 is not automated, because I feel, I might be wrong, but I feel like they are similar. So please, I want to understand why 7.3 is automated and then 5.3 is not automated.
So let's look at what you are talking about in terms of whether we can have two business analysts. Well, that question is for the organization to decide how many business analysts they want in a project. If a project is big, we can have as many business analysts they want working on the project. If it's a simple project, they can just have one. But no matter the amount of business analysts they are working on, as long as it's one project, they are working on producing one deliverable. There's nothing like different. If you have three different analysts, they produce different gap analysis. So if they want to have 3 different analyses. If they create 3 different gap analyses, if they are creating work for themselves. At the end of the day, they have to come and harmonize and reduce it to 1 gap analysis. Is that answer simple?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you said, let's look at what you are trying to say here in deliverable
7.3 and 5.3.
.3 investigate discrepancies. So you said 7.3 and 5. Can you say that again?
Yes, sir. 7.3 and 5.3. I want to know why one is automated and the other one is not automated, because I might be wrong, but I feel like they are somewhat similar.
7.3. Verify pricing. So verify pricing, like when the salesperson come to you and say they bought this at so amount of money and this and that, you need to make sure, confirm that this is the price. You can look up at the price in there. So this is not something, this is something you, the person, the CRM system cannot verify the price. Are you guys getting me here?
Yes, sir.
You,
Yes, sir.
somebody come and tell you that this is the price of a product that you, after going to the
Yes,
market,
sir.
they say that I bought this book for 5 naira, so that you make payment, they come and deliver it. Will you just say, okay?
It's a manual
No,
thing.
sir.
Manual.
You have to verify, is it, how much are they selling this in the market before you verify? Because when you verify and it's not the market price, by the time they will be querying, maybe the auditors will be querying, you that approved that payment need to state why you approved it. So if the salesperson or the purchaser is going down, you, the accountant that approved the payment, is going down because you didn't verify the payment. That is it. So this is manual listing. Then 5.3 is discrepancies. Investigate discrepancies. This is invoice. This was already captured in the invoice, and this you try to do bank reconciliation. You have the invoice in the bank. You have the invoice already in the ERP system. Then you want to make sure that what is in the invoice is what is paid into the bank, and you've downloaded the bank statement. The system, the ERP system, is going to download the bank statement because the 2 applications is integrated. So you can get information from your bank account directly and then use it to make sure that what is in the receipt is what is in the bank. You need to call or make call in order to verify whether what is in your bank account is what is in the receipt. You don't need. The system can do that. Are you clear now?
I'm not sure, Mr. Charles.
Okay, then do your own then. Class, are you guys understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I don't understand
Yes.
what she's not
Yes,
understanding. It's
I
simple.
understand,
I
sir.
told you that the bank, the ERP system can download the bank statement from your bank application. And the ERP system already have your receipt or the invoice in the system. The system have the power to cross-check what is in the receipt and what is in the bank statement. Then what are you telling me that you do not understand?
The system can
It's clear.
generate the discrepancies on its own. Yeah.
Huh?
The system can generate the discrepancies if there is any.
Yes, that's why we are saying that you don't need manual input to do to check the two systems, because the two information is in the system, and the system have the power to generate. By the time you're trying to look at both of them, the bank statement can have 1,000, 1,000 inventories or record, and the same thing with receipt. So when you want to do this bank reconciliation manually, it can take 1 month to do bank reconciliation. But the system can do this within 5 minutes. So the system, I've already explained how the system can do this one. And I've already explained how the system cannot do the other one. Because the other one, you want to make a payment. You are the accountant. Somebody who is the purchase person in the company, or let's say we have somebody who is in charge of purchasing and supply. The company want to buy equipment, and the purchasing and supply officer brought a receipt or invoice that this is what we want to purchase, and requesting you to authorize the payment. You do not do any background check, you just approve the payment. Why should you do that? You need to verify the market price before you authorize the payment, because you are the accountant. Being accountant, these are some of the things you need to do. You can't just authorize every payment that they drop on your table. When the auditors come and they find out that the market price of the payment of the equipment you authorize the payment, let's say, is $1,000, and what you approved is $2,000, that is a fraud. So if the purchasing and supply manager is going down for that fraud, you, the accountant that authorizes that payment without even blinking, is an accomplice to that crime. So these are two different scenarios. And Miss Ojon is still saying that she do not understand.
I understand now, Mr. Thank you, sir. I understand.
No, we are not playing here. If you are not if you understand, you let us know. If you do not understand.
With this
So,
explanation you just gave now, it's clear. Thank you, sir.
okay. Sorry, guys, we took a lot of time, but we are still in order to respond to that question. So everybody will be on the same page. Okay. I think at this point, everybody is happy. So I'm encouraging you to capture these deliverables, do this process mapping the way we are doing it, so that you won't struggle when more activity, because activities are going to be building up going forward. So that is it, and this is where we're going to stop for tonight. Process flow is a part of business analysis, is an integral part of business analysis. You must master it. What I'm giving you is foundation. You need to learn it as a pro. So once you can do this, you can then start building block on process, because a lot of processes, you have so many processes in the organization that need to be optimized or need to be improved. We must learn how to know how to model processes. It's very, very important. So thank you, guys, and I will see you tomorrow, and we'll look at root cause analysis.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Charles, please, I have a question, sir. Please, is there anywhere we can? Hello, sir.
I'm listening.
You said the process stuff you taught us is just the foundation, that we need to learn more in order to become a professional in it. Are there resources? Is there where we can learn more on it?
Like I said, Six Sigma, you can go and look at Six Sigma. Six Sigma will cost you a lot of money. If you want to become a senior business analyst, there's a lot to learn in business analysis. But what we are doing can help you to get a job as a business analyst. Every profession is a continuous. Who tell you that I've stopped learning? I myself, I keep on learning. So that is what I mean.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.